Peace and blessings. Keep up the lessons. It's your boy Crypto B Boy, which is coming at you. If you want to get into what is going on, what I'm gonna be putting up for you to hear, just stay with me and let's get it. Are you ready? Let's get it. Yes, peace. Yeah, I'm here again for another quick view and roll through of what's going on. The wars, the crypto wars is raging. They're raging and they're going on, especially in the fact that when it comes to the court case and the litigations with the SEC, and you have LBRY, which this guy, as you see, you notice here, he's going to be talking to him. Actually, let me get him off the screen because it's not time. I don't know why I had it on the screen. But anyway, since you saw it, his name is Kaufman, something Kaufman, Jeremy Kaufman, I think, and he's going to be speaking with John Denton they having a little talk on the issues that happened with his court case against the SEC against him and his company. So and the coin that they have, which is the LBRY. So basically, we're going to hear about that and how it is symbolic. Well, not symbolic, but how it compares and goes in many similarities with the XRP SEC case, court case right there. So we'll just cue in right now and let you listen. And boy, it's some stuff. So just listen in and listen to what they're saying. Hold on, let me cue it up. Just give me a sec. I'm gonna cue up to the point of where John Denton first opens up a little bit. So just hang in there with me. All right, here we go.
We're going to have a brief live stream, no more than 30 minutes, on something very important, and that is the summary judgment motion hearing that took place today in New Hampshire in the SEC versus LBRY case, a case that has significance and great importance in the crypto community, and one that's unfortunately not being followed by as many people that should be paying attention.
And that's a major point to make that he has made. And where I'm coming from and bringing this out is because I keep seeing and I hear from some others, some other YouTubers, and sometimes they may like just overlook it and feel that as long as they understand utility, as long as they're involved into the utility and what's going on in the technological part of cryptocurrency space and development of the projects and all these different maneuvers, and then they know and they're keeping up with what is happening in the maneuvers of XRP with Ripple as they're doing their continuous, evolving and pushing their business forth to where it brings a lot more prospects for XRP to do well without even American, adoption. You know what I mean? As far as the legislation of the government, Congress, and so forth, and the laws that might be against or that might stifle XRP to function in America. That's besides the fact because that's not what we're going to really uh, only have to deal with because it's going to go global. If America, as the lead country in the world, as we know supposedly, is going to show how all the other countries need to do as well and to fall into suit, the West, or the New World Order. It's all a part of that. If those of you know and understand that, the New World Order, the Great Reset, whatever America does, the others are going to fall into suit. Some of them are doing other than what America and utilizing XRP as a currency or has allowed it to be considered as a currency on their terms in their position with it of it being used and invested in, and they don't have any problem as far as it being security as the SEC has taken it to court, taken Ripple to court for. You know, this is ridiculous. But let's continue to listen to what they're saying, what they're gonna be talking about in relation to what we need to know and should know as retail investors, who we are. Most of us are, besides the whales and these people behind the closed doors and these higher ups, wealthy people that are investors, or before banks and all these other types of things that we speak about enter in, and the ISOs are being adopted, and the switch is being switched on, and then we can become wealthy. If they take it where they make it's illegal for us to use and have, if they can get away with what they're doing, then how much of what we have are we going to be able to use once the price goes up or the switch goes on? This is what we need to know. It's very important. It's nothing that we should throw behind and say, that doesn't bother me. I just need to move on. No. Well, anyway, listen up.
So I got a guest. We're going to bring him on, but a few observations. The hearing, as soon as I walked in the courtroom, the first thing I noticed was that you had a couple American entrepreneurs. You had their children were there, wives were there. This is a very symbolic.
And I'm an American entrepreneur. I am, and I have plenty of other people that I know that are, and those people who you know in your family, and so forth. And it's a family thing. Just listen to what he said. He's a lawyer. He's part of the system, but he's not part of the system, if you know what I mean, of the corruption part.
Symbolic point, because the SEC and what they're doing, people got to understand that their aggression into the crypto market and trying to expand it in a jurisdiction.
Let me go back a little bit and listen to what he just said. He said
their wives were there. This is a very symbolic point, because the SEC and what they're doing, people got to understand that their aggression into the crypto market and trying to expand it in a jurisdiction that they shouldn't be in. I mean, an asset class that they shouldn't be in, as far as non-ICOs. It destroys families. It destroys jobs. It destroys innovation. And we're going to talk about some of that today. But at the hearing, some very important things came out. The first one is the judge was well briefed. He was complimentary about the LBRY's attorney's brief that was very focused. The whole case of this hearing came down basically to what the judge called the third prong of Howey. Now, some of you out there, you've heard that there's 4 Howey factors, and some of you have heard there's 3. Some people say 3, some people say 4, all right? It's an investment, a common enterprise, that's 2, right? With a reasonable expectation of privacy, 3, solely on the efforts of others, 4. But some people include the last 2 into 1. And the whole case today was focused on the reasonable expectation of privacy, expectation of profit, and whether or not those investors or acquirers were relying on the efforts of others. And that's what the whole hearing really focused on. The judge stated that he is going to strictly adhere to the First Circuit case of SEC versus SG. You can look it up, you can read it. I'm not going to get into all of that. The judge stated basically that he accepts the fact that the LBC token has utility. He stated that it is clear that some people are purchasing the LBC token for consumption, with consumptive intent and non-investment. That's a very important factor. He, of course, said there are people who have purchased LBC who are speculating for price appreciation. And that became a very important issue in this case, because the judge said that this case, the LBRY case, and it also applies to Ripple in the XRP case, is a unique case that has not been fully addressed by the appellate courts. He said it's what we call a mixed use case, right? Some people own the token and acquired it for consumption, and some people acquired it for investment. And how?
Now you hear that? That's very important, very serious to know. So there's different understandings going on, and the judge himself, this is how he sees it, and that also is probably going through the heads of Judge Netburn and Judge Torres in the XRP case with that SEC has against Ripple. Okay, so this is what's happening here in LBRY, very synonymous with what's going on in the XRP case. So just continue listening.
How do you handle that? And the judge ended up near the end of the hearing saying to the SEC attorney, well, what if we were to look at every LBRY transaction and we were to come up and find out that 75% of the people acquired it for use and utility, right? To utilize the platform. and 25% investment. How does that make it a security or not security? Then the judge flipped it and said, well, what if the opposite is true? What if we were to learn 75% of the people acquired LBC for investment and 25% were for use? What language do I use? What standard do I apply? Is it a, principle? Is it, he asked for this. The SEC's attorney basically said something very dangerous. He said utility doesn't matter.
Whoa. So I hope you brothers, you guys out there in the cryptocurrency space, the YouTubers that get real deep entrenched into the utility and the technology and the whole bang and the jargon going back and forth and the this and the that. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going against you, whatever. But we have to be a people that are overall that are well-rounded. You know what I mean? That's the basic word I'm trying to get. We well-rounded. Be able to deal with all the circumference, the circle, and circling of this whole space. Everything, meaning, okay, not just dealing with certain particular aspects. And then the other aspect, that's not important, or no, this doesn't bother me. No, but that's why we have different YouTubers that cover different things, but it's good. But we should also focus on when people are trying to bring in points and they want to know, to give your people, make them aware. And if you don't, then direct them to the people who make that aware for them, that we have to understand what's going on with regulation and regulatory existence that is going on, and the maneuvers, the underhanded, corruptive maneuvers of government officials. Because the SEC, they are part of the government. Yeah, they're a government office for enforcing securities rules and regulatory things that have to be done in order for you to partake in investing in securities. Yes, it's a commission for America, United States SEC. This is not a game, but they playing games, but this is not a game that we should be taking lightly. We should be in it and making maneuvers and doing the chess moves and trying to help people like John Denton, Jeremy Hogan, and this guy who's in the case, going and supporting them, even if it's by media, by YouTube media, let alone all the other social media outlets, and let alone the mainstream media, traditional media outlets. If we have to move past the regular mainstream media outlets because they're not pushing it, only but one, Fox News and CNBC, the business, so-called business broadcasting station or whatever, they're pushing biasness and stuff, then we have a war in our hands. So we have to push forth with the swords, slicing these sifts up, because a bunch of sifts in the war right now, doing what they're trying to do. And if you see and you look at my thumbnail, Warren and Gary the Goon Gensler, and what's in it, Elizabeth Warren, talking to each other, talking in his ear, because they probably can't hear whatever is going on, But anyway, they're in cahoots. Yeah. So we got to be together. They're together. Where's our unity? There's a lot of disunity. And even the people who are in the XRP, warriors, armies, whatever, some of us we need certain things to be done, and we need support. There's more support needed. So this is what he's saying. And he's talking about what's been going on with these people and the maneuvers they're making, the statements they're saying that can go into being something that may actually happen. And then they're like, okay, I don't care what you doing with your utility. I don't care ICO technological networks and development that you're putting in to these projects that you're building for the cryptocurrencies projects and businesses that you are developing, if you are investing any bit or any profit that is being made from that digital currency, it is a security. So your company has to abide by the law that we put in place. This is what they want. They want to put that into law, and they want to push that. And courts help to do that. And so this is serious. It's not a game.
And the SEC attorney conceded that some people acquire LBC for consumption and to utilize the blockchain. But he said to the judge, doesn't matter what the percentage is, even if it's 75% of the people who acquired it for use and non-investment. If an objectively can say that there was some expectation of profit, that's a security. I just want you to think about that for a minute, because that is so dangerous, because it's an umbrella that just usurps all kinds of asset classes. It would make every crypto, you could even argue that definition applies to Bitcoin in many instances. And that's why we're having this hearing. And what I want to do is, those are my general observations. The one criticism I have, and I'll share this with my important guest next, I will say this, and I'm hesitant to criticize attorneys because it's Monday morning quarterback, and I don't want to come off like that. But the one thing that I was very disappointed in is that there was no discussion about what the Hinman speech and what Jay Clayton talked about a lot, which was the transformation of an asset that could start out as a security, but then over time, as the ecosystem grows, it is no longer a security. And there was no talk of that. For example, in LBRY, at the very beginning, the judge said there were only 4 videos on the platform. Well, today there's over 1 million users. So comparing 2017 and 2022 are 2 different things. It could be apples to oranges. And that was the main observation that I took away as far as if I were going to be critical. So with that said, I have a very special guest. I want to get his perspective because his perspective is actually the most relevant and most important. He is the CEO and co-founder of LBRY, Jeremy Kaufman. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much for having me on, John, and thank you so much for coming out, bringing attention to this very important case. You're doing great work.
Well, thank you very much. Listen, you heard my general observations. I just want to ask you, as you were sitting there, what's your trend? I know you tweeted out, but how are you feeling as you sit here today? Because, this is your child that you started, your vision, and, you've already been interviewed by me where you offered to give up your company, you offered to sell your assets, and the SEC wouldn't have anything to do with it. But how do you feel today?
I mean, I'm feeling great. I would feel great.
You see, that's their pattern, with the SEC. They do those types of things. They try to get you to, come in and talk, and then they tell you you ask them, how am I able to comply or abide by the rules and the laws and regulations that y'all put out? And they don't give you anything to go on. It's like they beat around the bush. They don't tell you really what you need to do. And they say, don't worry about it. We'll call you. We'll let you know, type of stuff. What is this? Anyway, let him go.
Anyway, just reaching a conclusion, because one of the most worst aspects of this is the slow drip torture of it. I've been dealing with this for almost 5 years, begging permission for how I can legally run this business and run this company. And I've never received a sentence of constructive feedback. A lot of the stuff today was great. You mentioned some of it in terms of the judge. The judge is a sophisticated guy. He's really trying to take a deep understanding. At the same time, he is still, an older gentleman who doesn't really understand technology or economics, but he is trying. He's clearly trying, and he's clearly an intelligent guy. So I'm not trying,
I agree.
So he's trying. So that's great to see. And
now, take into consideration that Jeremy Kaufman, he's just trying to take it easy. He's trying to be easy on the judge, trying to even be easy on the SEC. But he comes out a little bit on the SEC, even more than what's his name, Brad Garlinghouse, when they ask questions about how the SEC and how they perceive them and whether they're coming at, and Brad really does his best to avoid you know, like basically insulting the SEC as far as them being, you know, underhanded, you know, people that are evil. You know what I mean? Just straight viciously evil. Just, I mean, I say not necessarily they stabbing you with a physical knife or shooting you with a gun, but they might as well, because they're taking away your way of having a good life and being free financially. That's a lot. That means a lot to many people in the world globally. You know what I mean? And it's just very frustrating. But he's holding back, as you hear.
And the questions he's asking the SEC. Of course, the SEC wouldn't answer the judge these questions either, but they're the questions I have been begging. Everyone in the industry wants to know an answer to. What is the standard? And in court, even in court, there isn't a single SEC official who is willing to articulate a standard that they're following. Now, you and I know the answer is because they don't have one. They make it up as they go. They're flying by the seat of their pants. They have no, because they have no morals, they have no code. They just want to get whoever they can. But it was great to see that the judge asking these questions. Well, what if LBRY had never made a promotional statement, and 75% of the purchasers were buying it for consumptive use? Would it still be a security? Now, the SEC said yes. Now that every person in the cryptocurrency industry should be terrified by that statement. And they also said it wouldn't matter if we weren't developing it. So in court, the SEC said if we didn't develop the token, if the
meaning utility, it doesn't matter. It's just like what John Denton said earlier.
Vast majority of the purchasing was for consumptive, non-speculative use, and the company never made a public statement. Would a token still be a security? The answer is yes. Well, what does that mean? That means every sale of Ethereum is a security. That means every sale of every crypto asset, with the possible exception of Bitcoin, every other one, okay, is a security. That is what the SEC was in court saying today. So every single, and by the way, I'm sweating because I don't have the AC on and it's 90-something degrees in here, so I'm not nervous, but it's very hot. But every official, every person in the cryptocurrency industry should be terrified by what the SEC said in court today, because they threw down and they said, if you are in the United States and you are selling cryptocurrency and you are running a cryptocurrency company, you are breaking the law. If you are a cryptocurrency developer who has sold a token that you are developing, you are breaking the law. Okay, that is what they said in court today.
Jeremy,
and that should terrify everyone.
Well,
now whether he's saying not to terrify everyone, but it is what it is. What he's saying. And I hope it gets people to really realize that they got to get up and start doing some more to support what John Denton is doing, and Jeremy Hogan, and even this guy being in the case. He's in the case. He's in the mix with SEC, and his company is dealing with them. Just like Brad Garlinghouse has to do the same thing. But Brad Garlinghouse doesn't really get into speaking much about what's going on in the case, like as though this guy, he reveals how the SEC is and how evil they are in their movements. And I'm not talking about all the SEC representatives or directors or whoever's but the ones that are involved and following behind Gary the Goon Gensler, and the likes of those people, all of them that are behind trying to push for XRP being a security, as well as LBRY. You know, this is a war against crypto, all out war. And we got to be ready, and we got to wake up and go up against the SIFs. And may the force be with you. But anyway, I'm going to do a second video, part 2 to this, because there's more to go in what they're saying. I don't want to make this video too long. It's already long enough. I know the attention span of the people. Man, you can see it in your views. The more time you spend, less views. And I want people more to look at it and not feel like, I think it's 20-something minutes. No, come on. This is very interesting stuff. Stuff that's very pertinent and that we should know. So just take your time, be patient, come on and sit down, drink some coffee, some tea, and whatever you do, and chill out and just watch it and listen to what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? If you watch the whole video, it's 20-something minutes. So, you get a little bit of excitement from your boy, Crypto B-Boy, doing his thing. All of that. But anyway, don't forget to click the like button. Punch the like button if you have to. And, subscribe if you're not already subscribed with me. You know, like I said, I'm an informative person, informative YouTube content creator, and I'm going to bring you that type of content as much as I can and get you involved and help to educate some of you. I'm not an expert. I'm not an advisor, financial advisor, any of that. And do not take any, financial advice from me, because I don't give it anyway. I just tell you what I do and maneuvers that you can make to go ahead and do your thing. And that's it. But anyway, until next time, and stay with me. Stay tuned for the next video and share these videos too. Keep them going. All right. Peace and blessings. Keep up the lessons. Your boy, Crypto B-Boy, out. Are you ready? Let's get it.